Hello, everyone. Happy another snow day. As I start the live, I realized the last live I did, I got kicked out at the end. My internet stopped. There was this crazy whirling wind that happened for like a couple of minutes and then it disappeared. Well, today there's a snowstorm outside. Am I a glutton for punishment or what? So I hope that doesn't happen. Anyways, how are you all doing? I hope you're all well. So today I just wanted to like a short talk on the stories we tell ourselves. Everyone has a story. I have a story. You have a story. Our stories are not wrong. Our stories is something that happened. But the question is, it's good to wonder and ask, how long have I been telling the same story? So when I talk about telling, whether you're telling it to yourself, whether you're telling it to someone else, it doesn't matter, but that's your story. And I don't know about you, but when I share the same story or to myself, I myself get sick and tired of it, listening to my own inner dialogue. So the question to ask, how long have you been telling the same story? And your story isn't wrong. But the question is there another perspective on the story? So there's a story that we can tell from despair, from being traumatized, from pain and grief, and it is all real. But what if we can tell the story from a place of hopefulness, courage, and inspiration? So in the first instance, we become a victim to our own story. In the second example, we actually become a victor. We own the story rather than the story owns us. So here are a few things to consider. First of all, if there is an area of challenge in your life, whether it's your health, relationships, work, whatever it may be, just bring it to the forefront and saying, in my experience, what are the stories that I'm telling myself? I think that you will find a story. So hidden in the story are our beliefs. We don't tell the story thinking, oh, I'm telling the story because I believe it. But in the story, there's a belief that is being created, and you're telling it from that belief. Now, what do we do with the beliefs? Beliefs are something that are created from our experiences. When we have a negative experience, so our beliefs become negative. When we experience worthlessness or being victimized, our beliefs become that the whole world is a perpetrator or is going to victimize us. So, and the truth is, no pun intended, all truths are half-truths, because we each have our own filter of our life's experiences. Any new experience is going to kind of go through that filter that I already have, and my mind will do its best to to distort the facts so it feeds its own beliefs. So have you heard the saying that if you tell yourself something, enough times, you begin to believe it? There is that. But sometimes we distort the facts because the beliefs are set from prior experiences, which is your filter. And we distort the story little bit here and there, so it fits and feeds into our beliefs. It's called self-fulfilling prophecy. So the more time we tell the story, also notice many times when we keep telling the story again and again, we actually is kind of like digging the dirt even deeper. We get deeply engrossed in it. And each time we tell the story, it may become even more traumatic than the previous time when we shared it. Either we're trying to hold on to that pain, making ourselves believe like, oh my God, this was just really, really bad, really, really painful. This was really traumatic. How will I ever get over it? Or if we are sharing it with others, we want them to see our pain. So we tend to exaggerate at least our emotionality about it. So more times we tell the story, we actually get really even more emotional because it's kind of like we keep digging at the same wound. Not digging it to heal it, we're digging it and by our retelling the story, we are making the wound deeper and deeper. So that's why it's important to look at an area of challenge in your life and see if there's a story behind it. See if the challenge is created by the story that you believe is the story. So, like I said, your story isn't wrong, but is it complete? So, what I'm asking you to do is maybe ask, what if? What if the story was a little bit like this? What if I changed the story to what I wanted it to be? Who cares, right? You can do anything you want to do. So when you ask the question, what if there was another way to look at my predicament or something that happened in the past? Is there another way to look at it? So when we ask that question, what if, you will notice a relief. Because you will notice a relief from the mental anguish or the emotional pain that you are feeling. All of a sudden, your mind opens up and thinking, maybe, who does not want relief? We do want relief from our mental and emotional anguish. So notice the relief and let that be a clue to continue to investigate it further and saying, what if it was X? What if it was Y? What if Z? So the what if statement, it into a place of curiosity. That's the word that I'm really using more and more because I really like this word. It expands my mind and it takes me into horizons or dimensions that I may not have thought about before. So be curious. What if the story happened like this and you misunderstood? What if you could, it's not about even misunderstanding. What if there's many perspectives to the same thing? Because two people under the same circumstances, they will come away with a different experience. Just like two people watching my video, they're going to have different comments because they're going to pick up on something different that clicks with them, that clicks in their own filter. Some people may even misunderstand me. I may even trigger some people. But my point is that no two experiences are the same. So we have to ask why. It's because it's kind of like a precondition. We already have a build-up, an accumulation of prior experiences that have set the beliefs in motion, that we are using that as a platform or a foundation to view this new experience. And we can't really help but distort it. But it is important to ask, what if I change the story? Exactly. Hamza, thank you so much for tuning in. So the question is, what if I could change that? What if there was another way to look at it? What if I never considered this? But what I want you to get from it is the relief you get from the what if. So this is not just for the heck of, I'm not just talking just so we can philosophize many things and just have a intellectual argument. But I want you to get the relief, the mental relief from the mental and the emotional anguish when you ask what if and be curious. There's an expansion that takes place. You kind of put the defenses down. You don't have to figure it out. You can just open yourself up to what the answers may be in the universe. So there's that fascination, being playful, being open, being curious, and see what the answers you get. That's going to give you a contrast to the story that you've been telling yourself. The contrast is going to make you teach. It's going to show you even more. It's going to take you even deeper. When you see the contrast, you will really see, you know, the effect the old story has had on your psyche, the effect it has had on what you are currently experiencing. So that's really what what this live is all about. It's just going to be very short and sweet. So that's the question I have for you. And these big questions are really important for us to ask, because otherwise we continue to live in a default way. So that if the default way is making us suffer, let's stop somewhere and say, what if? What if? You can even imagine all kinds of things. What if it actually happened this way? How would you have liked the story to unfold? Create a fairy tale around it. Who's going to stop you? That's what the mind is there for you to imagine. It's a tool. It's not an escape, it's a tool. You already experience what you experience. Now imagine something different. Imagine it how you would like it to be. Then you can see the contrast. If it's helping you, who cares? If it's giving you the relief, it's giving you the mental peace, if it's uplifting you, then by all means do that. So we're going to be digging deep into this type of work in my upcoming mentorship program, which begins in March. The program is The Healer Within. So it's there, there is a presence, a healing presence within each one of us. It's just that we never become silent enough to listen to it. So it's a 6-month program. I'm going to be using the context of nutrition, exercise, our routines, our mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and the quantum, our our multidimensional powers. So I have the link here below the video. If you're interested, there's still time to join. You can take a look. But other than that, tell me what you took away from. I always do that, but no longer, because we can drop in depth. Exactly. Yeah, the inner world is a bottomless pit. There's really no end to it. And it can be quite fascinating if you stay curious. When I use the word the healer within, be curious. Really? There's a healer within us? Really? I can heal myself? My answer to you is yes. If you're interested, so you can get all the details there. But other than that, have yourself a wonderful day. I'm Meena Puri from Ayurvedic Healing Center. Actually, it states right here. And thank God the storm did not disconnect me from the internet. So take care of yourself, and I'll see you at the next live. Thank you, Hamza, for joining.